Hello, welcome to the Rebuild podcast, the podcast helping mothers rebuild their body, life, and health after kids. This is Shantae here with
Alyssa Vargas. Hi.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. How are you doing, Alyssa?
Good. We're full swing summer. I feel like up until now, the weather's been so easygoing. It's like been perfect in my opinion. And then yesterday was 100. I was like, okay, summer's finally here. It's July. Summer's here.
Yeah, we live in the desert practically.
The Californian desert.
The Californian desert. So it's extremely dry. It's 100, could get over 100 maybe in like August. Yeah.
Nevada people are like, sit down, be quiet.
I know Nevada and Arizona.
Yeah,
gets like 114 over there.
Oh no.
I know. We're always complaining here in California about something. So never good enough.
Never good enough. Yeah, it's funny because I saw yesterday on Shantae's stories that she was going to the pool. It literally said that you had posted 46 seconds ago.
And you're like, I'm there.
I literally texted you. I was like, you're going to the pool? I'm there. Bathing suits on. It's called the go bag. And I have a summer go bag. So anytime, beach, pool, whatever, everything's packed. The swim diapers, the sunscreen, the goggles, both girls' bathing suits. That's a good idea. And then the towels, I have like a little bin. The towels are in there. So literally, if we decide to go to the pool, I can be there in like minutes.
I love that. I need to start doing that. I follow this mom. She calls herself a stay-at-home mom who's never at home. Her handle is Chan with the boys. She has 4 boys, 4 or 5. Like, yeah. So, wow. Yeah, she dedicates her entire mornings, or I guess their routine is we never stay at home. Like every day we're like going out and like outside and playing and like doing things. And I'm assuming it's because staying at home with your kids is miserable. And so, yeah, I really like her content because she has a lot of tips like that. Like, because we're always on the go, we're always going somewhere. I always have things pre-packed, ready to go. So I'm not repacking everything over and over again because that's just too much work. And then you're not going to want to do it and you don't want to go.
Exactly.
So
half the battle, getting everyone dressed, getting all of the things like... it's a pain in the butt. So if you're always on the go, that's so smart.
Yeah. I definitely need to do that soon. I can't say that we're always on the go yet. We're starting to get out a little bit more. No, I actually have to. We're going to talk a little bit about this because, I've noticed that it's a lot more miserable to stay home with Isaiah than it is to get him out. And I've been tweaking my morning schedule a little bit more. I mean, my excuse is the pregnancy and just everything that's been going on. I have not really wanted to make the effort to get out and do much, but it honestly makes parenting a lot harder. So that's going to be part of like the things that we talk about with our parenting lessons. But aside from that, do you have any life updates, Alyssa?
No, Camila is done with her nature school program. We're on like summer break and just excited to just be with the girls all summer and beach and pool. And I'm trying to think, no real big updates. No.
I know. We're kind of boring.
I know. Gym, pool,
all the same
farm,
stuff.
The same stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I guess my only update is like financially, I have been exploring. Well, I got with a financial advisor to put a chunk of our savings in some mutual funds. And I'm learning about that and how that works. I was trying to explain it to Alyssa yesterday and she seemed confused. So I'm clearly not explaining it well. In my head, I understand how it works, but I'm not at the level of explaining it very clearly. And it was funny when I told Kevin that we were doing this and I was all excited about it. He's like, Yeah, that's what I've been trying to tell you this whole time. Like
time.
I
Oh.
explained all of this to you and you said that I wasn't explaining it well and you got frustrated and then now you're doing it with an expert and now all of a sudden it's a good idea.
You're like, well, yeah, because it was my idea this
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm dying.
So that was hilarious. But yeah, that's my only other update for life. Because we're going to get into all the mommy parenting stuff here soon.
Yeah. I mean, we can just jump in if you
Yeah,
want.
let's do
Quick
it.
update.
Yeah, I know.
Intro. We did not collaborate on this one, you guys. This is a complete, we just logged on.
Surprise.
But I have some guesses of what yours might be, and I'm sure you have guesses of what mine would be.
I know. We're practically the same. I'm like, you guys, whatever Alyssa's doing on her page, like, yes, I agree. And we're like the same person, just in different stages of life right now.
Yeah, slightly.
I get jealous of your training. I'm like, that looks so fun. I'm like, my hips are sore and I just keep getting bigger. And like heavy lifting has actually been a little bit, not painful, but I get so much more tired and sore with my pelvic floor and my hips and my joints when I'm lifting heavy. So I stopped with that. I'm doing just more like functional stuff, like things that feel good. I'm not on like any program or anything. I was on the Stairmaster today. Just doing like lighter weights. I did some bicep curls just to get the pump to feel like I did something.
That's all that matters, though. You're doing it, you know.
Yeah, like
every
lunges.
Pregnancy is different. Every pregnancy is different. I remember, especially at the end with Elena, it was uncomfortable, and it's like you just feel heavy and.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like how I did my third trimester with Isaiah. So it's interesting that I'm feeling this a little bit earlier now. So yeah, every pregnancy's different and I'm not stressing over it. You know, I feel like I'm a lot more calm the first time that you're going through it and you're seeing your body change, and it's just really hard. At least it was very difficult for me. And I think I really forced myself to train at a higher intensity because that's just what I was used to before. But now that I already gone through that first experience and I already have my postpartum physique transformation under my belt and I know that I can do it, I'm a lot more confident with the process now. I'm a lot more like calm. Like, well, let's just get through the pregnancy and then I can focus on all the other stuff later. So, yeah. Cool. Do you want to kick it off?
Yeah. So the title of this podcast, 6 parenting lessons we've learned, right?
Yeah. As mom of littles.
Mom of littles. In reference, I have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old and Shantae 2.5 and pregnant. So I guess we're still fairly... moderately, we're kind of not, what would you call 5 years in the parenting game?
We never feel like we're good enough for talking about, we're like, do we have enough credibility to be talking about this stuff? Like, I don't know. Like what mark should we dub ourselves like credible for talking about these kinds of things?
I don't know if anyone can consider themselves an expert parent until their parents or until their kids are adults. I don't know. Even then, it's like then you have the children that are grown. So there's I'm sure things with that.
Yeah, like it just changes with every season, even pregnancy too. And we should probably revisit this in a year and a half when I have Elijah, since I'm sure things are going to be a lot different. Parenting a child with Down syndrome and some things, whatever he, like capabilities and he has and how that's different than from Isaiah or not. But we're going to get into that a little bit today too.
Yep.
So,
and we're not, I don't think, by the way, we're not talking to you as if we're parenting experts. This is just like, we're far from it.
Yeah.
But this is just sort of like, just your girlfriend's telling you what we've learned so far, and hopefully you might, and you'll probably listen and be like, oh, I agree, or I disagree, or
that's true. We're not trying to be experts here.
No, I wasn't sure if that. I was like, now that we're talking, I was like, I don't want to come off as an expert, but things we have learned and we just wanted to share. Okay, so my first one probably won't surprise anyone, but let kids be bored.
Oh yes, that's a good one.
Yeah, boredom isn't something to fix. it is what I believe to be the doorway to creativity. And I think, again, when I was first started becoming a mom, I really felt like I needed to entertain Camila, and like I knew I didn't want a lot of toys, but I do feel like I felt like, like sensory bends, or like, I don't know, like going to mom meetups, which is fine for community, don't get me wrong. Or like, taking her to these little, like those play centers all the time. And to be honest, every time I'd take her, I'd dread it. Like I was like, I don't really want to be here. This is kind of lame. And I think this is a big theme. I just think across what we're seeing now with kids is we adults are so quick to hear our kids say, I'm bored, and fill that boredom with something. And I think as an adult, we're just uncomfortable with silence. Like, when's the last time you were anywhere waiting at the DMV or in the doctor's office and felt weird not holding your phone or scrolling your phone? And we're modeling to our kids, what that looks like in real time. And so I think sometimes leaning into let kids be bored is also like noticing that it's okay for us to be bored.
Yeah.
You guys know we just had a whole podcast on this hunt-gather parent. She doesn't touch on this. Well, she does essentially, but she does say invite your children into your world. And sometimes adult activities are quite boring, like going to the DMV or going to the grocery store. We view them as boring, I suppose. Kids, for them, that's kind of exciting. Like they're still new to this world, and the grocery store can be fun. And I know you want to chime in with what you're doing with Zay. But I think we're too quick to try to save our kids from boredom. And if you just let them be bored long enough, they start to create and lean into their own world of imagination. Just a bit ago, like literally before this podcast, the girls were playing with each other, and then I was just putting away laundry, and that laundry basket that I have, it's a cute little basket, was on the floor, and immediately Camila jumps in there and she's like, Mom, where's my little keys to my jewelry box? She started to pretend the basket was a car, and so she had her little toys in there, and she's like driving places, talking to her toys. And then I got another basket for Elena, and she was doing the same thing. And I was like, what? How cool is that? Like, as adults, we've lost that sense of creativity. Like, we don't think that way. And I think this is also another thing for moms. We feel guilty. Our kids want to play, and they have these big imaginations, and we feel sort of guilty because it's like, I don't really want to do imaginary play. Like, we have lost that sense of imagination. Yeah. But kids are really good at it.
Yeah.
And so
this is why I don't work with kids anymore. You guys, I hate it. This was like the one thing that I hated.
It was so hard for me to do.
Yeah.
And I felt guilty.
It's hard. Because I definitely don't have a creative mind when it comes to imaginary play. Like,
do you get it back as a grandma? Because my mom's really good at pretending with
Do you get it back as a grandma?
I'm serious. Like, I feel like my mom's really good at it. And I don't know if she's always been good. Like, did she do that when I was a kid? Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I think some people really do have it. Like my dad is, and I can mention this a little bit later, but, it's funny because I've been trying to teach Isaiah how to play alone. And, I mentioned that to my mom, and my mom was like, do you know that you never played alone? Because I was an only child, and my dad is like Santa Claus. And so every single day when he came home, I would just remember this. This will be a memory that I have for the rest of my life. Every day that he came home, I would run to him, and he would drop everything and literally just play with me. And we'd play tag and chase and board games, and he was literally like my playmate. So I told my mom, I'm like, I know that I didn't play alone, but I don't think you guys or dad was supposed to play with me that much either.
I mean, okay. So I think there's a difference between like imaginary play and then like tag. Like that's physical. Right. And dads are really good at that. Like at the end of the day, we run around. I play tag with my girls, or like, we do silly things like that. Board games, I think that's a little different. But yeah, it's the like dressing up like princesses, or like playing doctor, like that stuff. I just don't like doing? And she's good at that. Her and Elena will play that way.
Yeah.
And I feel like well, anyways, yeah. So go ahead, carry on. What were you saying?
No, I mean, like, I think what you're saying about just letting kids be bored, it pulls the creativity and imagination out of them. If you guys have not seen Toy Story 5 yet, we took Isaiah to the movies for the first time over the weekend. I guess that's a little life update. We drove up to Sacramento, and Toy Story 5, great lesson for parents. I believe the entire message was specifically for parents more so than it was for kids, because the entire message was about how giving your kids iPads and iPhones removes connection and creativity from children. The story is really cute. I guess, spoiler alert, but one of the little girls who has, I forget the cowgirl's name, but do you remember her name?
I did for a second that I
You forgot it.
Go ahead.
The cowgirl with the horse. Great. I'm terrible with characters. Anyways, she is great with imaginative play. Jessie.
Had to look it up.
She's outside playing with her toys, and she's like in this like imaginative play state, and she wants to make friends from across the street, but all of them are on iPads. And so the camera goes out to like a panel view, like a bird's eye view of like all the houses, and all the kids are just sitting on their couches, scrolling on a phone or on a computer or on their iPad. And she feels so excluded and sad that she can't make any friends. And so her parents actually gave in and got her an iPad because they wanted her to feel included. And it just takes over her entire life. The toys are obviously freaking out because they're like, oh no, we're getting replaced by the device. And so they made it their mission to find a kid who's just like her, to bring them together and make friends. And so eventually it led to her meeting another girl who wasn't on her screens and also was just as goofy and imaginative and creative as she was. And they became friends. It was just a good reminder for parents, like, you have the power to expose or to manage your kids' screen time usage. And you have to be really diligent and careful with how much, because it can literally ruin their creativity and how they play and how they make connections with friends.
It was literally a perfect tie-in to let kids be bored, because it's true. And I saw it. To be honest, I know. I can't stand it. I'm sorry. This is one of those things. I'm sorry, but like in Cabo, I saw this family. It was our last day in Cabo. Their entire family was sitting. I think it was my multi-family. I'm not sure. During breakfast, all the kids were literally on their iPads. All 3 kids, and then the parents were just eating their breakfast. And I was just like, I can't. Like, I don't know their story. I don't know what they had done that entire trip. But for me, eating meals with your family, it just lights something in me. I cannot.
It's
I'm
hard.
Judging. I'm
it's
sorry.
hard.
I'm sorry. I'm judging you. I just like, I get it. There's a time, like, sure. Like, I think there's a time and place for iPads. They can be really helpful when it comes to learning, maybe lessons for homeschool. And I think we're coming into an age, like AI age, where the kids do need to know how to use a computer, how to use AI, use apps. 100%. And obviously we had businesses online. Like, that's how we promote our business on social media. I understand how important it is. But I think there are skills that kids need to learn, whether it's sitting at a dinner table at a restaurant, or going to a grocery store, or going to the airport, wherever. And then trust me, long flights, totally pull out the iPad. If you're on a long 5-hour flight or whatever. But car trips, sure, maybe in some instances, but I think there is beauty in letting them observe the world without staring at a screen. And yeah, if you need a book to read, Hunt Gather Parent's a great one. And The Anxious Generation, this has been on my list, but I have not read it.
Mm-hmm.
But he does talk
it.
about in this book, screens have replaced the experience that actually build resilient, capable kids. And his main idea pretty much says that when kids, when they're bored and we immediately hand them the screen, we are interrupting their creative process and we're doing them a huge disservice. So,
yeah. And I also want to add that I think parents mostly do it because they don't want to deal with the kids' boredom. And I can empathize and relate to that because in the process of teaching Isaiah how to be by himself and play by himself and just be, he's bugging me the entire time. He's screaming and whining and holding onto my leg. And you know, these are during times where I would rather just do things by myself, but I know in the back of my mind that this is kind of like the process to him getting there. And so I would urge parents to understand that tantrums, whining, complaining is all part of the parenting process in teaching your kids these skills. It's not like you're going to say, okay, time to be bored, or I'm not going to give this to you, and you expect them to just sit there and be bored, at least in the beginning. You know, they are going to whine and cry and tantrum and beg for the phone or the iPad or the TV or to watch something. And it's your responsibility as a parent to just say no and then deal with it.
there was a reel you had shared about a teacher, and he was like 20 years old, young teacher. And he's like, what is going on with you parents these days? Like, I'm having a parent teacher conference and you parents are asking me like, well, what do we do? And he's like, I don't know, parent your child. And he was sharing that a little girl was falling asleep on the playground at her desk because the parents gave her an iPad and she was watching it all night. And my heart sank, and I couldn't, the anger in my body. Like, I was like, there are parents, like, you can't, what? Like, what do you mean? You can't parent your child? You're literally letting them have the iPad all night? Are you crazy? This poor kid, it's borderline, in my opinion, abuse, because adults can't even handle technology. Like, we have screen addictions, let alone letting a child with an undeveloped brain. Like, I worry about the next generation.
Yeah.
Another thing that I real quick want to add into the let's be bored. My girls aren't old enough yet, but one thing I know for sure is they will not be able to have social media. They'll have a basic flip phone. And I want to keep my friend group and small, and their friend group small, with other families that feel the same way, because, and I think I've talked about this on other podcasts, but yeah, our children should not be, and I know other countries are putting in laws that young children, teens, should not be on social media. And once they see something, they cannot unsee it. And that is it. Like, it's all it takes. And as a kid, my mom's going to kill me for saying this, but my parents were amazing parents. We went to church. But, you know, public school, you meet friends and you go to their house. And I was like, friends pull up their parents' computers. And this is on a computer at someone's house, okay? Showing me things I should not have seen, okay? In middle school. And that was when phones did not exist. They exist now. These kids have these phones in their pockets that with access to everything, violence, sexual, are at their fingertips. So that I wanted to add that in as boredom, as also like social media, and as my kids get older.
Absolutely. And it impacts girls differently than boys. I know boys, their addiction to porn has become younger and younger, and it's really impacted their mental health and their ability to make connections, especially with women. And then for girls, it's impacted their self-esteem and confidence. And, you know, we've talked about this in the past. I mean, we didn't grow up with social media, and we were still influenced through Cosmopolitan and the fitness magazines and like the bikini magazines. So imagine a young teenage girl having access to all of like that times 100 on social media. And it's just not good for all youth in general. But going back to teaching Isaiah how to be bored, I was talking about this on my stories, but after nap, our routine is we come down for a snack, and we have a loft area where there's a playroom, there's his room, and then the loft area. And it's a pretty fun space to me. I mean, I created it, so it's pretty fun. But he's like never up there. He always likes to be downstairs with us. But the reason why I was doing this was to teach him about independent play. Like, you need to be by yourself and you can do whatever you want up here. Like, there's no rules up here. You can do whatever you want. You have lots of toys. So we have a gate in the top and the bottom of the stairs. And he understands the concept of a timer because we use it for TV time and then play time. So whenever we have to leave somewhere, whenever he's done with TV, we use the timer to signify that time is up. And so I put him upstairs. I closed the gate and I said, it's time for you to play up here. You could play up here, but mommy's not going to play with you. You're going to be up here for 25, 30 minutes. We started with 25 minutes. Honestly, for a 2.5-year-old, I should have probably started with 10.
I almost commented that. I was like, wow, it seems like a long time.
It was. Okay. I should have started with like 10 minutes, but I didn't want to because I was doing something. And so, you are correct. Okay, I probably should have started with 10, but I jumped straight up to 25 minutes. I'm like, we're just gonna, hit the ground running with this. And yeah, the first couple times he cried most of the time and screamed and was like trying to open the gate. And I was downstairs and I reminded him, time is not up yet. You have to stay up there. And then there was other times where I would start the time. I would like put him up there with a snack. So not a snack, but like gummies. So that transition would be a little bit more smooth and he could start pairing that experience with something pleasant. And so that helped a little bit. And then he eventually understood the concept of like, okay, like I could play up here and he would play with his little like play area and his cars. And then the second the timer went off, he would be waiting at the gate, waiting for me to open it. But what this actually helped facilitate was independent play, just roaming around the house. And so before, he would always just like bug the crap out of me when I was getting ready. Like he would come in, take, like rummage my things in the bathroom and pull things out and mess with me while I'm getting ready. But now he goes upstairs, he's playing in the loft, he's getting toys out that he doesn't usually play with, he's bringing them downstairs. And it's so cute watching him pretend play in the living room because he takes down all the pillows, but he has his Mickey and his Pluto stuffed animals. He has his books everywhere, his toy trucks. Oh, I don't know what he's doing, but he's in his own little world and I love it. And so I'll peek there sometimes and like try to film it because it's so cute. And sometimes he'll come in my bathroom just to kind of check in on me and see what I'm doing. And then he'll walk out. Yeah, getting ready. But it's the independent pretend play has increased. It's gotten a lot better in terms of like his ability to sustain that. And I think that has a lot to do with, again, limiting screens, especially in the morning, but then also teaching him the skill of, I'm not playing with you. You're going to be by yourself, and these are your options basically.
Yeah. Wow. What was it? We spent a lot of time on that one.
Yeah.
We had a lot to say. Okay. So you want to go to the next one? Yours?
Yeah. One for me is that kids are capable of so much more than we think or give them credit for. It was funny because I questioned myself a little bit when I was giving Isaiah the grocery shopping list and taking him to the grocery store because I was like, oh man, is he too young for this? Like maybe maybe it doesn't matter. But there's a couple things that I look for when teaching a child a skill, and it's capability. So are they physically and psychologically capable of learning this skill? And then is there opportunities to complete this skill? When it came to grocery shopping, there actually weren't any opportunities because I supplemented grocery shopping with Instacart. And that's something that I noticed. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to the grocery store anymore, which is great for busy mom life, but not so great for teaching kids skills. So I recognized that I needed to go back to the grocery store, bring him, and then contrive those opportunities for him to actually learn how to navigate a grocery store and shopping lists and all of that. And then motivation is the motivation here. Alyssa and I talk about this all the time, but kids, especially toddlers, want to be included in adult activities. And so the intrinsic motivation was absolutely there. Now, if your kid doesn't seem motivated or interested in these things, like intrinsically, some things that you can do is you can reward them. So, like, let's just say you do give your kids screen time, some TV time, and say, hey, after you help me put away the dishes, or after you help me, grocery shop, then when you come home, you can watch Mickey, or when you come home, you can watch whatever show. And so they have that motivation, like, okay, well, I'm going to be rewarded for this in some way. At least that'll give them the opportunity to learn the skill, and then hopefully down the line, the intrinsic motivation will come. So those are the things I look for. And Isaiah had all three of those things. So I felt like it was a good time to start teaching him this skill. And did I already talk about this on a podcast? I don't remember, but I can't remember if it's like Instagram or the podcast that I've talked about this on, but I printed a visual grocery shopping list for him. One page is fruits and protein, one page is vegetables, and another page I think is snacks, which we never use. He only likes to use the fruits and protein ones for now. So that's what we stick to. And it's really simple. It's laminated. We bring a dry erase marker, and it's become really fun. I mean, we go and he actually picks out, I let him pick out whatever he wants on that list, because we usually need everything on that list anyway. So he gets to pick the order and whatever fruits and proteins that he wants, and then we find them, and then he crosses it off the list. And so it's great for matching and just like task organization and spending time together too.
Seriously, I love that. You should sell these kits. Does anyone ask? Because I think that's awesome. So cool.
No, yeah. I mean, maybe one day I could I'm not selling anything right now, so I could just like give it to you guys or something. But yeah, if you want it, just let me know.
It's funny because I had this on my list too.
Aww.
Yeah. And I posted it on my story, but were we going to add anything else to this?
Yeah, so that was just an example, but household tasks, I mean, really similar to what Alyssa and I have talked about in the past, when it comes to including kids in chores and adult activities. Most of the time, I mean, kids are willing and capable of doing those things. And even like fitness. I know you're introducing more plyos with Elena and Camila. And yeah, I mean, Isaiah has been doing that too. And I think, even though he's just 2.5 years old, like integrating fitness and physical activity that's beyond just like playing at a park, and more so like in like that gym and athletic environment, they're very capable of learning those skills at a young age. And they have to, because they're growing and they need motor functioning and strength in their legs and arms, and all of those things help with learning and behavior management.
Yeah, I feel like the world our kids are growing up in is like, we're creating unintentionally, but the belief that kids are fragile and capable, need us to do everything. And we keep stepping in and like, I'll do it for you. I'll do it. No, you can't do this. You go play. And confidence doesn't come from being told you're amazing. You're the best. It comes from evidence. Like, kids become confident because they know they can do hard things, that they contributed, that they figured it out on their own. And so I don't think we're doing enough of this as parents, because I don't know, I feel like we're like in a soft era. Like we're in such an era where I don't know if this is social media or just, again, I think this is probably also mentioned the anxious generation. I haven't read it, but I'm pretty sure this is what it talks about, is like back in the day, my mom, like she had 6 siblings, her go out and play, come back when the lights or the street lights come on. And now we as parents are so nervous our kids are going to get kidnapped and like or hit by a car, which yes, there is some fear in those things, right? I think it's important to know, depending on where you live and your situation, but finding things they can do where they can feel that they're capable and they contribute. So some of the things we do in our home is like letting my kids cook. I think majority of moms would freak out if their 2-year-old was stirring eggs near a hot stove. I'm pretty certain most moms don't let their kids cook.
No.
It can be a little dangerous, right? And yes, Elena, both my kids have gotten burned, but I'm there. They get burned. It's not like their hand is like in the pan. It's usually quick, and they learn, oh, this is hot, like mom said, I'm not going to do that again.
Yeah.
But that's how they learn, and they're gaining confidence because they're cutting vegetables, they're flipping eggs, and they're actually contributing in a real way to the family. And so, yeah, I think shifting your focus on like keeping your kids. I read this other book. Oh, what's the name of it? I don't remember. But he talks about how kids don't have broken arms anymore. Because they are just at home, video games, again, TV, on the devices. They're not climbing trees. They're not maybe they're doing sports, but they're not hiking or getting out there or climbing.
Taking risks.
Taking risk taking.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I guess kids aren't getting as injured because we're just overprotecting them and
keeping them inside.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a goal for me as a parent, for my child to have a cast.
It is okay.
But yeah, they'll be okay. And yeah, when it comes to kids with disabilities, I know this could be a little bit different. It goes back to capability, right? We obviously don't want to set limitations on our children, on any of our children, right? But I think, just from working in the clinical field, and now I'm going to be stepping foot as a parent of a child with disability. I think that there is a misconception about kids with disabilities and their ability to do all the things that we're talking about. And so parents can kind of overcompensate for their kids with disabilities as well because they have a disability. And so they feel like they need to do everything for them when they're capable of so much more. And I'm so proud of Kevin because he's never been around any kids or people with disabilities. And one of the first things that he said was the only limitations our son is going to have is the one that we place on him, meaning like we cannot be the people that hold him back. And so that was a good reminder for me, obviously. It's my responsibility as a parent to push him as far as I feel like he can go or maybe further and create those opportunities for him. So if the opportunities don't naturally present themselves, then I need to make the effort in putting him in those opportunities.
So good.
Yeah. So, well, stay tuned. Stay tuned for the next year or so. And,
right.
I'll update you guys on how everything goes. You want to go next?
Yeah, sure. Number 2 is protect family rhythms. I am the queen of routine, you guys. I love a good routine. And I actually wanted to look and see if there was research. So I did look this up. So it says research consistently shows that predictable routines are associated with better self-regulation, emotional health, cognitive development, academic outcomes, and overall physical and mental health in children. A 2024 systematic review has analyzed over 170 studies, found that family routines are one of the strongest predictors for healthy child development. Well, I mean, no brainer, guys. Mm-hmm. But I think sometimes when we embark on the motherhood journey, you're so used to your life as a single adult, and then when you bring a new baby into the family, it can sort of throw routines out of the what am I looking for?
Out the window?
Out the window. Yeah, there we go. I was like, where do we throw them? I don't know. And so if you're a new parent, something I would love for you to know, anchors are so helpful, daily anchors. And everything can be flexible. I think my type B moms probably ran for the hills when it comes to following a routine or a plan. But if you feel overwhelmed, if you feel like your days are chaotic, There is something about having especially a grounded AM and PM routine that could be so helpful, and then family anchors. So I'll give you an example of some family anchors we have. We wake up at the same time every day. Yeah, I don't let my kids sleep in. Like if it's 6:30 and they're not up, I go and wake them up. And that's normally when they wake up around. But yeah, I wake them up. We get outside.
You're just like her mom. When I would sleep over on Saturday mornings, I swear to God, it felt like
5 a.m.
her mom was like over my head, like slamming the pots and pans over my head at 5 a.m. on Saturday. Because my mom let me sleep in. I would sleep in till 12 or 1 p.m. sometimes on the weekends.
Oh my gosh.
And I hated sleeping over at Alyssa's house because at 5 a.m. it's like, I'm like,
coffee,
what the hell?
they're putting away dishes.
What are your parents doing?
Yep. Yeah. What time were you going to bed if you're waking up at noon? Were you
I don't know. I just slept a lot, I guess. I was tired. Volleyball plus working part-time plus school.
You must have been staying up kind of late, right?
I mean, what was I doing? I didn't have social media or phones.
What were we? TV?
Maybe.
Did you have a TV in your room?
I did. But
I
did. You didn't?
No, I didn't.
It was parent monitored though. Like they put restrictions on it, so I couldn't watch any good stuff.
I know, but you still were probably
maybe
up
some
watching it.
DVD movies.
There you go. There's your answer. Okay, that's another thing. My kids are never having a TV in their room.
yeah. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, my
sleep
kids
is
are
so
not
important,
having.
you guys. Okay.
Yes.
So a family anchor, getting up at the same time, getting out for a morning walk. We go no matter what. Eating breakfast together, quiet time after lunch. This is a game changer, you guys. Dinner together, evening walk, bedtime, same time every night. And these moments, honestly, they're game changers because one, for an overwhelmed mom, this is going to remove decision fatigue because you're not asking yourself, what are we doing next? It's like there's peace and predictability, and sleep is one of the biggest anchors. Like protecting our sleep time is the highest ROI you can commit to. Again, research backs this up. Having a consistent bedtime for especially infants and toddlers, consistently is going to help with them sleeping better, fewer nighttime wakings, longer, more consolidated sleep, better mood. Like you guys, mood. Like if you're wondering why your kids are constantly tantruming, emotional, take a look at their sleep. Like are your sleep wake times and night times consistent, and are their nap times consistent? And so yeah, it's just there's less arguments, there's less tantruming because we're not arguing about if we're going to a walk today, because that's what we do every day. There's like it's so seamless, and it's like no one's arguing if we're going to the gym. It's not like a meltdown central because we go 4 times a week. There's no arguments of is this what's served for lunch? Yeah, this is what we meal prep. This is what we're going to eat. Like there's no wiggle room there. And so, yeah, when you have consistent routines and rhythms, you're not battling tantrums every day. Cause it's not random every day. It's not chaotic, and kids like the predictability. They don't have to guess. And so if this is something that you're like, oh, my kids are really emotional, take a look at that. Are your days sort of starting and ending the same? Do you get to bed at the same time? And I will say the biggest game changer is the afternoon quiet hour. It's such a good midday reset because even my 5-year-old, she doesn't sleep, but she's upstairs doing quiet time. It's a nice little pause for both of us. We can take a little break from each other. She gets her time, and it's a nice like reset to the next half of the day. So
I love that. I love that. You know, I can almost predict how the rest of the day is going to go based on the first 2 hours of the day, because I really focus on sunlight, movement, outdoor play, limited screens, and then a balanced breakfast. And so, like Alyssa mentioned, if your child is having tantrums and meltdowns frequently, you want to ask yourself, well, are my child's basic physiology needs met first? As a behavior analyst and as a mom to a 2.5-year-old, I spend a lot of time asking myself, well, what happened before this behavior? Then how do I stop this behavior? Because a lot of times parents will wait until the problem behavior happens, and then we start scolding and punishing and removing things, yelling at them and trying to kind of, punish them into learning. And that just doesn't work as well as doing what you can before in order to manage that behavior later. And it's crazy because I've recently slightly adjusted our routine because I knew I was giving Isaiah too much screen time in the morning. So this is what we were doing before. I just blame everything on pregnancy because I've been extra tired. But first thing in the morning when he wakes me up is he eats a small breakfast. And then right after that, he gets to watch some TV. But then while he's doing that, I get ready. Or we're not doing this anymore, but this is what was happening. Mm-hmm. And I take a while to get ready, okay? Like I don't just wake up looking like this, you guys. Like this takes a lot of effort. And so I was in my bed drinking coffee, scrolling on social media, then dragging my butt into the bathroom, doing my hair and makeup, scrolling, like just taking my sweet time, which that time, great for me, but then that was also a lot of screen time for Isaiah. And sometimes it would just like drag to where then that would cut into like my workout time, and it would just like kind of conflict with a rhythm, like a consistent rhythm. And sometimes we would walk the dogs, sometimes we wouldn't. And so then I'm like, all right, I'm also thinking ahead of time, like when Elijah is here, one thing that I noticed that Isaiah started doing, he started like actually bugging me while I'm working out. Like he was like not playing by himself, but he was actually like, just like being a little punk in the middle of my workout. And so I've had to stop and, manage him and going back and forth. And it would just be like an hour and a half later and I'm still not even done. And so I'm like, okay, something has to change. I'm clearly, not doing something correct. And I'm also thinking about the future when Elijah's here. Obviously, when I get back in my consistent workout routine, I would rather manage one kid than two kids. And so I would rather Isaiah sit and watch TV while I'm working out, while I'm with Elijah. This is how I envision the future, at least. Rather than trying to manage two kids while I'm working out. And so that means that I have to restructure how I set up my mornings. And so what I started to do was, instead of getting ready while he's watching TV, like first thing in the morning, I get him ready and then we just go walk the dogs and go to the park. So I don't have any makeup. I hate leaving the house without makeup. I'm just not the type of woman that gets out of the house without makeup on. So I told myself that I just needed to get over that. And so I put a hat and glasses on and sunscreen and whatever. So very limited screen time. Like while I'm like getting myself ready quickly, like less than 15 minutes, he's watching some Mickey, and then we turn that off, and then I get him ready, and then we take the dogs and go straight to the park. And so this is where I can walk the dogs. We play sports. He gets some morning movement, some sunlight. And then when we come back, I can work out and then he can watch some TV, or I could just like let him play. But what I've noticed is like he doesn't even ask for TV. He doesn't even want TV, and he just plays by himself. And so that's what I was referring to earlier, is what I've noticed recently is like he's played by himself for longer periods of time. And I think that has a lot to do with just him feeling good and the morning physical activity and the sunlight. And that has kind of like given him the creative energy to just be by himself and start to pretend play.
Movement, good breakfast. You got to play with mommy. All his needs were met.
Yeah.
That when you come back to work out, he's like, oh, I'm good. I feel good.
Yeah, exactly. And so, that's our new routine. And then I can work out and get ready. And he's like occupied for almost the whole time. And so that's been really nice. So yeah, it just kind of goes back to, are their basic physiological needs met? Do they get sunlight first thing in the morning? Are they playing outside? Are their screens limited? Are they eating a well-balanced breakfast? And then sleep as well, like Alyssa mentioned. Are they getting a good night's sleep? All of these factors heavily influence whether or not they're able to learn, regulate their emotions, and communicate.
We really
went
over time.
Okay, just really quick. Yeah, just rattle off. You could go next. It's yours. Okay.
Well, I guess number 3, go listen to 2 episodes ago where I talk about hunt, gather, parent. Because my number 3 is invite your kids into your life instead of building your life around them. I pretty much talk about that for an hour.
Yeah.
So essentially, this also kind of goes into like how you don't need to actually entertain your kids. You can invite them into your life. Like they have fun just being with you. I still see this a lot with my mom friends, is like feeling like they need to go to jump parks and like kid zone areas to entertain their kids, when a stance I have taken is I'm living my life. So we're going to the gym. We're going to go to places I like to go, like the farm. That is also kid friendly. Mm-hmm. I do enjoy parks. I just like being outside. So we go to parks, the pool, but like just, and going with friends I like, you like friends I want to see, and just taking them along for the ride. And I think that shift in mindset of like, hey, look, we are a family centric family. It's not all about you and doing all the child center activities. And yes, we'll occasionally go to kid centered places, but for the most part, kids don't need to be separated from the adult world. Invite them into your world, invite them to cook. But yeah, I talk about this in depth and give more nuance in 2 episodes ago. So go listen to that one.
Yes. Number 4, I briefly mentioned this earlier, but parenting means tolerating your child's discomfort and tolerating their tantrums, especially when it comes to picky eating. So saying no, like saying no, giving them their options and having them make the choice. So I actually had a great conversation with a friend of ours about how her toddler is a little bit younger than Isaiah, and she's struggling with the eating department. He only likes to eat like fries and chicken nuggets and milk and these things. And I said, look, I'm not a expert in this, but this is the way that I see things. And this is what I've been doing with Isaiah. But the reason why your toddler or any child only eats those things is because we give in and give them those things because we don't want them to be hungry. And tolerating hunger is a skill. Kids who cannot tolerate hunger become adults who cannot tolerate hunger. And so we have to think of our kids as like future adults, like 25-year-olds. We're not parenting a toddler. We're parenting a person who's going to eventually be an adult. And so I said, if I were you, I would try to decrease the milk now. What I did with Isaiah was I would fill half milk, half water, and then slowly decrease, like dilute it over time. And then I would lessen the volume over time as well. And then eventually we replace that with just water. So Isaiah doesn't drink anything else besides water. He doesn't even have those little juice boxes. He only has that when we're out with like friends and in the community. So he only knows water. And when it comes to food, the reason why he's so versatile, like he eats so many different things, is because those are the only things that we give him. And if he doesn't want to eat those things, then he doesn't eat. It's really that simple.
Yep.
Like I tell him, there are some things that he doesn't prefer, like he tantrums and whines and cries, and I say, that's fine. Like you don't have to eat this, but I'm not making you anything else. And yeah, there's tantrums, there's throwing on the floor, there's begging for other things like that are in the pantry. And I just say, no, that option's not available. This is what you're eating. And if not, then you can be hungry. And I think that's really uncomfortable for a lot of parents because again, it's, we don't want our child to go hungry, but your child's not going to go. Your child does not live in a malnourished nation. They're surrounded by food wherever they go. They're not going to go hungry. And so, yeah, we have to keep that in mind, that it's okay for them to feel hunger. And then it's okay for them to make the choice to not eat and go through that experience, that natural consequence. Well, if I don't eat what's available, then I'm going to feel hungry and I don't want to do that next time. So I'm just going to eat what's available next time.
Yep. I 1,000% agree. So Elena is actually a little bit more picky than I remember Camila being. And she definitely prefers fruit. So, I mean, that's a lot of toddlers, I think moms would probably nod their head. And I'll notice if it comes to breakfast, she'll just eat her fruit, nothing else. And then I'm hungry on the way to the gym. I'm like, sorry, don't have food. You're going to eat. I'm not the mom that brings snacks to the gym. Nope. Yeah. When you get home, guess what? You're probably going to eat your lunch. What I start to do, and this is a hack, is I start serving first course and second course. And I try not to say you have to eat X in order to get Y. I try really hard. It sometimes slips, or sometimes Camila will say it. Elena, just eat your eggs and then you can get your fruit. I'm like, Camila, shush up. It's first course, second course, okay? So, for example, in the morning, my girls will, want their breakfast, and usually I'll serve everything on one platter. But if I notice it's becoming a problem, I'll serve what's called first course, which is usually protein, because sometimes I notice younger kids, they sometimes get a little picky with their protein. And so it'll be Greek yogurt or eggs. Okay, Greek yogurt, great. And when they at least have a couple bites, then I will then bring out the fruit or the carb source. Camila is older now. And so if you have older children, this could be a good opportunity to coach on what a balanced meal is. So sometimes like, Mom, can I have cereal? I'm like, oh, sure, you can have some cereal. We have Cheerios. Nothing fruit, like sugary. Just Cheerios is pretty much the only thing we'll buy. And I was like, sure, you can have a little bit of Cheerios. What would you like for your protein source? Can I have pancakes? I'm like, well, that's a carb source. So Cheerios it's going to be your carb source. What is a protein source? We have Greek yogurt or eggs. And she'd be like, okay, Greek yogurt. I'm like, okay, great. So I start them with the Greek yogurt, and then I'll wait a bit, kind of keep an eye on them, and then I'll bring out the Cheerios second. So for older kids, that could be a good way to build your plate. For younger kids, Elena, there's been countless meltdowns when she doesn't want to eat. She throws the food. I'm like, okay, well, this is what you can have when you're ready. And she cries, and she's hungry, and it's okay. And Fernando's like, want me to make her? I'm like, no. She has the two options. When she is hungry, she will eat. I promise. Yes. So it'll be okay. So it's okay. And look, if you have a severely picky kid, you might need to talk to your pediatrician. Like if they're eating less than 10 things, you need to see a doctor. We're talking about general pickiness, typical kid behaviors. Yeah. Those are our thoughts on them. Okay. As a FYI.
Yes. I think, did we do 4?
I think we 2 more each. Oh my gosh. That's all right. We can go over.
2 more
I think
each?
Camila, I think so.
I thought
what
it
are
was
we on?
6. I thought it was 6 total.
Yeah, 6. Oh, you only did 3?
Yeah, I only did 3 and that's all I had.
Oh, I thought going. It was 6 and 6. I was like, I have a lot to get through. Yeah, go ahead. Just do yours.
No, I already did my 3.
Oh, okay. I guess my next one was your kids will remember your presence more than your presence. Being a minimalistic mom. One thing I've noticed is just a big life lesson is kids need way less stuff than we think. And this goes into, even if you're like having a baby, I remember being pregnant with Camila. I'm like, oh, I need all the baby gadgets. You really don't need that much stuff.
Yeah.
I wish my registry, I had fewer things on there. And anyways, but I honestly, I could say that. And as a parent, you're probably still going to do as you will. You know what I mean? It's something you just learn. Like you have to learn by doing it because you're excited and you want to get all the baby gadgets when you're a new mom. It's fun. But yeah, in general, kids don't need as much stuff as you think. They don't need the newest toys. They don't need an entire playroom. I think we live in a culture of just overconsumption. We're very consumer driven. We feel like our kids need the latest gadgets or subscription box or sensory toy. And they really don't. They just want to be with us. They want to feel connected. I think clutter for both kids and parents is toxic. Like how overwhelmed are moms when they walk in the door and there's just stuff everywhere. Kids feel it too. The kids are not immune. Stuff, clutter increases everyone's stress level. Difficulty focusing, overstimulation, it heightens emotions. So yeah, that was my big one. And just as a asterisk, kids won't remember their childhood based on the toys. Maybe a couple, their favorites, but for the most part, they're going to remember baking with grandma, family vacations, hiking trips, Sunday dinners, Christmas traditions, all that good stuff. And then my last one was, I think that was it. Yeah. Is more is caught than taught. Yeah. Just the greatest parenting lesson I've learned. I mean, we can end it here, is just like, remember, our kids don't remember what we said, they remember what we do. They're always watching us, how we handle stress, how you talk about your body, how we treat people, how we respond when things don't go our way, how we take care of ourselves. They remember all these things. And I think I'm really fully realizing this the more we talk about these conversations on this podcast, just like remembering our childhoods. Yeah, like I don't think our parents straight up told us life lessons like this. It's just what they modeled, what they did, what they valued, what they prioritized. And look, if that wasn't modeled to you, you get to model this to your children, however you want to live your life, what you want to prioritize, what's important to you. Your kids are going to see you lift weights and exercise, and they're going to remember how mom took care of your body and how strong you were. The way you eat, was mom eating salads? Was she eating the same meals as us? Or was she eating we all ate together, all the same food? They're going to remember those things. How you handled hard things. So I think this was a fun episode.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to add to that last one.
No, that was perfect. I love it. Yeah, we would love to hear from you guys if you resonated or learned anything here, if you wanted to add to it. We're obviously newer parents, so these are just things that we've learned over the last 5 years. Less for me. So yeah, would love to hear from more seasoned parents, and I'm sure things change and evolve as you have more and then as they get older. So yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we will see you next time.
Bye.